Welcome back everyone to another NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. Today looking at Atlanta and let's see here, Atlanta and Homestead Miami Speedway. I am going to go ahead and bump up to the 25% race length. So we're going to have the 4 times normal wear, which is going to give us the same amount of pit stops as a normal normal race length, turned on multiple stage races. Again, go ahead and back out of here and we'll head to the race, jump into some practice, see what we can fiddle around with as far as setups goes. Yeah, so we load in here. This is the old Atlanta still, I do believe, versus the repaved and super speedway version of Atlanta. That update had not happened to the track when this game was produced, so it's still old Atlanta, very bumpy, as well as hard on the tires, at least in real life. We'll have to see what it's like on the tires here in practice. We're going to go to our little car status menu here and hopefully not burn the wheels off too badly. Also paying attention to that oil temp as I increase the grill tape already. A little bit of a left layer in the corner, so we may be able to adjust that out with some wedge, as it was super late in the corner that we had to lift. More towards the back end of the corner. 3 and 4 actually seemed okay there. We're not too terribly far off our goal time there. Only 5/10, and we didn't hold it wide open on 1 and 2 that first time around. We did there, ran a little higher, but we'll see how that sets us up for our lap times, because we're not running that suggested line there. So we'll see. Only 4/10 off now. Try to run that suggested line, and cars are starting to overheat. Truck rather, starting to overheat there a little bit. So going to make a little bit of a wedge adjustment and go down on the grill tape just a little bit. Go down to 60 there. Adjust the wedge a little bit. Go down. Do 3 clicks and try this again. Get up through the gears. And hopefully we can take some of the notes from here, apply them at Homestead Miami Speedway. They're both 1.5 miles, not all that similar. However,
got one inside, bottom 3.
you can kind of take the same concepts and apply them at both, similar to how we could do the same thing even looking at Las Vegas compared to here, as Las Vegas and Atlanta are likely more comparable than Atlanta to Homestead Miami would be. Still tight off the corner, so we'll probably need to figure out a way to do that, but the center of the corner seems really good. 3 and 4 is really good. Only getting a yellow line there, so not likely to be a good lap here as we get up into the wall. Not bad though. So may need to lift a little bit towards the center of the corner, be able to get the drive off, not hit the wall. See if this produces any better of a lap time. So we've got truck pin ahead of us. Probably should try to work on my pit road entry, but not likely to. Just, I don't know. Only 2/10 off our goal time now. Use a wider entry angle there into the corner. Take a look. Our tires are wearing very well here, nice and evenly, which is what we want. If you look at those right sides, they're dropping nearly at the same time. They're a little bit off when I looked at them, but for the most part, right there. However, is really slow lap, but that could likely be just the tires wearing, and that would kind of explain why we're able to get off turn 2 better each lap, as the truck is loosening up, allowing for a better drive off, and you don't have to worry about that as much. As yeah, it looks like tires are just essentially worn out as far as producing lap times goes. So we're going to go ahead and do a full fuel run here if we can. The tires may wear out before the fuel runs out, so may have to be conservative on the tires here, but we'll see. But fresh tires are going to be key here, as you can see how abrasive the track is. Dropped nearly 10% in a lap. Is that right? I think so. We'll pay better attention this lap as we go around here. 3 laps of fuel remaining in the tank. We're sending 25 and 24 on the tire wear. So we're able to stick it nicely down there right along the bottom. Got 20 and 19%. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to go a full fuel run on set tires, but we should be able to go the majority of a fuel run on set tires, as we're losing about 10% per lap on those right sides. We'll go ahead and head into the pits this lap. We'll get at least a practice lap in to try to see here, and then I will jump into qualifying. As we're coming in hot, and we make it in, so feeling decent about that. Not great, but decent. But definitely don't want to push it too far on those tires, as we would not have made it another lap, I don't think. So we'll go ahead, move to the garage, and we'll head to qualifying.
Let's go.
As I don't know if we can quite hit that goal time. It'll be close. We're within a half a tenth of that time in practice. Or I should say 600ths of a second during practice. So it'll be pretty close whether we can hit that goal time or not.
All right, coming to the green. This one counts.
See here. But wider on the entry. I'll have to see if the exit's good. The exit's looking very good. The fresh set of tires is definitely helping us. And we set that best lap time about 3 or 4 laps into a run during practice. So we'll have to see here. Very, very close, but not quite. Puts us in 32nd, which is still last. So not sure where exactly that it. I mean, we're still only 500ths off of those other drivers, but we just couldn't seem to push lap time out like that. So we'll go ahead and head to the race. I think we'll be fine in terms of pace. Up 2 places already, and goal position of a top 30, and we'll move on to the race.
Coming to the green, driver. Almost ready. Green's out, let's go.
So we are underway here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Old Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we've got 9 laps in the stage. We will not need to make a pit stop mid-stage. However, we may need to really watch the tire wear at the end of the stage to make sure we don't get into any trouble with the tire wear. So we're going to have to be careful on the top here, as there's a lot of dirty air that's going to tighten up the car. May need to make an adjustment to loosen the car up a bit so we can send the throttle longer, since we do have dirty air back here. But overall, with the draft, I think we're going to be okay on speed.
Hold your line, got one outside. Car high, careful.
Car got tight after clipping the bottom of, or clipping the apron there.
Stay low, stay low. Car there on your outside.
We're starting to lose this lead pack just a little bit. That's just because we're having to lift from the dirty air. As you can see, the car just goes straight. That should also get better as the run goes on. We have coming up on 7 laps to go here in the stage. Better run through the corner there, as tires are already starting to wear. We also had the draft there. We have 6 laps to go left in the stage. Apparently I blanked out on one of them already. We're just kind of hanging back from this pack and learning how this truck is going to react, especially later in the race. That's going to be key, is learning how everything is going to react. And you can see the right front is definitely dying off a lot faster than the right rear at the moment, but looks like they're going to even out here soon. So I may want to take some wedge out of the car during the pit stop, help loosen it up, as it's getting better, but we were very tight at the beginning of the run just with the dirty air. And dirty air is essentially just the disrupted air caused by the cars in front of us as everyone goes through the air that is within the track. The cars in front will disrupt that air and make it kind of swirly, and it affects the cars behind a lot more, especially the more cars in front of you that you have. So, but we're definitely looking better towards the end of this run as we are starting to make up some spots. Tire wear seems to be affecting the AI a little bit more than it is us, which is interesting to see, as we've got a car wrecking, or truck crashing behind us, bring it home in 28th in the first stage, and everyone is going to be pitting. Jennifer Joe Cobb, I believe this is a truck that crashed there in the 32nd and may be done for the race. So actually we need to cancel that. We do need to pit. No damage, which is good. We're going to go down 2 clicks on the wedge and accept that. We'll advance to the green flag. Up 2 spots, and hopefully that wedge adjustment should allow me to turn a little bit better. Hopefully get stay with the pack a little bit better, as well as keep that tire wear a bit more even throughout the run. There's quite the imbalance there as the tires started to really wear after they warmed up. There is quite the imbalance. They eventually balanced out, but there is a very big imbalance there for a little bit, as much as about 20%. So still dealing with that dirty air, something they have programmed very well into this game, is the fact that the car gets really tight if there's cars in front of you, especially at these mile and a halves. That's where you notice it the most. Not really the case in a super speedway case such as Daytona, which was the first race of the season, or Talladega, as they rely on the draft so much. However, because of the draft and the high bankings, they do not experience the dirty air nearly as much. And so with the mile and a halves, or the intermediate tracks, you notice the dirty air quite a lot as you get into traffic, just because there's off throttle time and that sort of stuff. So there's other reasons as well, but those are kind of the main things there. As the tire wear is looking better this run for sure. Made some little mistakes there, and that's why we kind of lost these guys in front, but we are catching back up. So overall, a better run so far during this little stint as well. We're going to get right up behind John Hunter Nemechek here, and I'll have to see, do we get good enough to run? We do have a little bit of a run on him. We're going to dive to his inside, lift to make sure we don't slide up on him. Car is driving really well here late in the run, and he's going to have a run going down back straight where on the outside of us. However, we're going to prevail into 3 and 4. We have the draft here from White. We may even take, we're going to have a run on white as well. Again, managing the throttle throughout that corner to help us not tighten up and move up the track and to the truck on the outside. As he's still there, he's going to have a good run heading down the front straight here. We've got final lap of stage 2 here. So White's got a really good run, but we're going to manage the throttle a lot better than he is there in 1 and 2. Get the draft from Herbst here, and he's going to go high. He's going to open up the door for us here. And we get 25th in stage 2, up 3 total spots. And we're going to likely have to pit in this last stage under green flag conditions. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I like where the car is set up right now, so we're going to keep it all the same. Don't have any damage. And we'll have to see how this ends up. We go green once again.
Got one ticket inside.
And we've got, ooh, it's going to be close. This may be about conserving the tires this stage, because there's 11 laps left in the stage. We have about 10.5 laps of fuel total. So we start out with 11, but quickly drop there. So we get tapped into the outside wall there a little bit, but we're going to maintain. However, during practice, the tires are what kept us from making the complete fuel run. Had to pit about a lap and a half short of what we had left in fuel. So I'm not really sure how we can conserve the tires. We could get out of the throttle more throughout the corner. It'd be less hard on the tires. Kind of like that. However, we are going to lose touch with the cars in front. So I'm going to go for it.
Car there on the inside. Bottom free. Use it if you
It is going to cost us in terms of where we are on track, however. So that's also going to allow us to save a little bit of fuel. As we're going to be off throttle longer than the AI. But I think we should be able to make it to the end of the race if we keep this up, where the AI will have to pit. So it could end up being really good, but it's not going to matter here, as we just, that was my only worry, is that we're going to have a caution, and they're going to pit. The thing is, we're going to save fuel under caution laps as well as tires. So I don't think we need to pit here. I think every one of the AI are going to pit. We're going to go for a gutsy call. Go no pit. Maybe not the right call, but I think it's going to be the right one here in the end. I know we probably could have made up some of that time in the end, but we are currently in the lead and 4 laps to go in the race. So granted, we are on older tires. We're going to be run some worse lap times here at the end of the race than the AI, However, I don't know if that's going to really stop us. The only thing that could stop us is the fact that we are now into clean air and we've got a looser setup due to being in traffic. We get a car to our inside, but really our goal is still only that top 30. So just need to maintain some positions here and stick with the rest of the group, not get into any trouble. We're going to fall back some. We held the lead as long as we could. However, we can still drop back another 19 places and complete our goal for the race. As you can see, now it's starting to tighten up some. And we've got a lap and a half. We can still give up 17 spots. So I think this was definitely the right call here late in the race. Figured we could probably go the distance on tires and fuel, and it seems that we can. Still have 16 spots worth of wiggle room. As long as we don't make a huge mistake, we're going to be okay and end up much better off than we would have been had we pitted. So still up in 19th currently. It's going to be a race to the finish line in 20th. Honestly, I think that's about where we were going to end up anyways. Not on that short run, though. We would have I think we would have topped out about 28th if we would have pitted like everyone else. It was too short a run for our tire advantage to kick in. If we would have gone long, if it would have stayed green the whole time, I think we may have ended up a little bit better than that. But not a bad strategy call there to finish out the race. So we'll head to the main menu and head to my Homestead Miami. 20th place with the 50% cut for driving for a team. Gets us nearly $13,000 added to the bank. Again, we're not going to do anything with that for right now. Just going to save it for the truck team that we will probably eventually start. Get some compliments and also some negative comments from the drivers on track. I don't think we raced that dirty, especially compared to what we were doing in the dirt series. Of course, dirt series is a lot rougher in general. However, considerably cleaner there. So head to Homestead Miami now for 34 laps, and we'll see where we end up there. We completed our 2 top 30s for the incentive contract, so one more there and then we'll get the payout. So we'll head to Homestead Miami, do a little bit of practice, mess with the setup, and then we'll head to qualifying. Not as much pressure here, but going to say that the goals for every race in general are going to be maybe a top 25 just for in general. I think that's reasonable as we are in this 3-star ride. Ideally, we'd finish up near the top 25 in points near the end of the season, but as we saw in the dirt series, that's easier said than done until we get into a better ride. And more than anything, goal is just to be able to get into a better ride next season, whether that's starting our own team with the money that we've saved up, or joining a 4 or 5 star ride later or after the season if we get offered those. So that'll be something to kind of talk about as we get towards the end of the season. If we think we want to have offers from a 4-star or 5-star ride, if we're going to take that, or if we're going to start our own team, which is starting our own team is something we'll probably do eventually anyways. However, it's a matter of, do we want to start placing better before then with better equipment if we can, or if we just want to start that right away. So we're about 11/10 off as of right now of that goal time. Finding it hard to say down along the line here, as it's got less banking than Atlanta for sure. I guess that was a bad comparison, comparing Atlanta and Homestead Miami Speedway. And both sides of the track are nearly identical. So that's something kind of weird as well. See if this is any better. That car just blew past us. Let's go ahead and return to the garage here. I didn't pay attention to the tire wear. I should have. Going to take a big swing here at the wedge. We'll go ahead, pull up the tire wear now, and we'll try to get closer to that goal time, as well as make a full fuel run or tire run, whichever comes first, in practice. Likely going to be a fuel run here. So we're sticking to the bottom better here. We'll have to see if the right front is still wearing out quicker than the right rear, though. We will make an adjustment. Yes, we can take more wedge out of the truck if the right rear is still burning up faster than the right rear. We're not. Yeah, that's really where we're concerned, is keeping those tires wearing roughly the same. You don't want one taken off, because otherwise there's going to end up being a point within the run where the car snaps from being tight to okay if the right front is burning up, and then all of a sudden it will start to snap loose, because that right rear is starting to take the brunt of the wear, therefore making it fall off super quick. So I noticed that we just ran 2 identical lap times back to back, so maybe we're just about a second off here at Homestead Miami. So the right rear is actually burned up a little bit quicker. So I got out of the throttle a bit earlier, it seemed like, in that corner. We'll see if that helps. trying to get off the throttle earlier and stay off of it for a bit longer to keep it down along the bottom of the track. It doesn't seem to help there. Try it again. The right rear is burning up quicker than the right front, so may need to put some wedge back in the car to help with that. Not what I want to do considering how the car is turning currently. However, it might be necessary if we cannot make it through a fuel run because the right rear is going to burn out too quickly. So we'll run the rest of this fuel cycle, see where the tires end up at the end of it. That will kind of tell me as well where we need to be, as that one was really slow, but again the tires are going to have started to fall off. And that's what makes it kind of hard to tell if you're actually running better, is because the tires will start to fall off as you get more comfortable and force you not to run as good of lap times, so you don't really know. You essentially have to set a really good lap to hit the goal time at the beginning of the session in order to hit it, or at least on fresh tires I should say, because after about 3, 4, 5 laps the tires have fallen off and you can't set anything faster, and you progressively get slower and slower unless you run a fantastic lap time. So now we're about 17 tenths off, nearly 2 seconds slower than our goal time. And now here's something also to note, is the fact that the tires are lasting quite a while here. So we could possibly implement a no tire stop at the end of the race if it ends up falling, where there's, say, a maybe like a 6-lap run to the end after pit stops. We could possibly go no tires, maybe not 6, maybe close to 4 or 5, but the tires really aren't wearing all that aggressively, especially as we lose lap time as those tires wear. We're losing lap time, we're not pushing them as hard, so we're losing less there. The other possibility to possibly implement could be a 2-tire stop. So we take right side tires only. Our left sides still look pretty good. It's going to make the car a lot looser, so we may even make a wedge adjustment when we do that. Help tighten up the car a little bit, as those left sides are still going to be pretty worn. And we're going to bring in this time as we're going to be out of gas. I'm not going to make any adjustments to the setup. We're going to run with it as is, kind of deal with it. Could just be that we don't have the best engine here for the track, and get down to pit road speed. Going to leave it as is, I think, for now, and we'll head to qualifying. So let's see here.
Let's go.
Our goal time. Let me think here. We were hitting that goal time even on worn tires, so we may end up actually qualifying here decently. I'm, of course, then again, I don't know what our technical goal time was because of the fact that we've technically completed our incentive contract. We don't technically have to get a top 30 here to get our incentive contract, so I'm not sure if it's going to really give us, if that goal time was necessarily for a top 30. This, I don't know really what that practice session goal time was. We're running a bit high there. However, even when we did that in practice, we were running decent laps. With that, we ended up in 29th. So, with the lap times they wanted us to hit in practice, it would have been putting us in the top 20. So that's interesting. I'm not sure what was going on there. However, going to go for a top 25 starting in 29th, and we'll see. I feel more confident now that I know that it was giving us a top 20 goal time during practice. So
Coming to the green. Are you ready? Green's out. Let's go.
see here. Again, the draft and dirty air are going to play a big role here in the race.
Still there.
6 laps in the first stage. So we got a car to our outside. Try not to slide up the track. Maybe should have taken some wedge out of the car pre-race to try and counteract the dirty air that we're encountering here in traffic. On the brakes even there a little bit to get slowed down, not slide up the track so much. So an adjustment could quite possibly be coming there in the pits. If we pit,
Still there.
I suppose with the, it'll end up being how the second stage is split up. If we have another 6-lap run, we could possibly be looking at not needing to pit. Though if we pit when no one else does, it could open us up to some strategy in the final stage. So we'll have to kind of see how everything falls there. Alley gas a long time to stay on the bottom underneath whatever that black truck is there, the 74. Have to learn the names of these trucks as we run wide there, and the 34 gets beneath us of white and the white truck. 3 laps to go on the stage. So we drove it in too deep. Going to kind of do a diamond pattern on the corner. Going to try to catch the draft of white here. We're not going to get it, as the 74 is going to drop down below us. It's Mike Harmon. I guess I could always go to the like the lap info and leaderboard. That's what I'm looking for. We're currently sitting in 31st. Roughly even tire wear right now. We're staying a little bit more spread out on this track compared to Atlanta, so not dealing with dirty air as much. However, we are still tighter, I think, than we were in practice. So we'll go ahead and make a wedge adjustment in the pits. Help try to loosen the car up a little bit more. Not to an extreme, because they are wearing pretty well there. Probably just a click. Yeah, probably just one click down on the wedge. Now I think about it, I don't want it to wear too aggressively. I was originally thinking 2 clicks. However, I don't want to throw off the car too much, so I'm going to go 1 click down on the wedge. We're going to pit with everyone else. Pit stop does a great job, gets us out a spot up of where we went into the pits. Got 12 laps of fuel in the tank again, and we have 7 laps left in the stage, so a little bit longer here. We could not have made it by not pitting at that stage break, so good thing that we pitted with everyone else. That would have spelled bad news for us. We give Harmon the bumper there a little bit, but actually it affects us more than it does him, which is uncommon, but it's alright. We're going to go into 1 and 2 one-handed here. Off throttle, off throttle, off throttle. Back in it. Actually a really good corner there, considering I drove it one-handed. Going to try to take a dive here at white.
Still there.
We do get under white, so we slide up the track. It's going to have to drive off. We're going to try to catch some draft here. This car is just slower here at Homestead Miami than it was at Atlanta. Made a bit of contact there with white. Almost caused a wreck, which was not my intention. However, it almost happened. And it messed with us more than it messed with him. We're down in the last place, and I'm not really sure what I can do at this point. Making sure to keep an eye on the tire wear here. Make sure we're still even. If it gets too out of whack, I will go back up on the wedge just to keep those even as possible. It's going to benefit us in the long run that we haven't really gotten to experience. This run we're going to get to the point where we start to notice some of that tire wear late in the run, where I think we're going to be better than the AI. However, we never really got to that point in the last run, so we're going to start the challenge stealth here as the tires start to wear. I think that's really going to be where we start to excel on any race, is when the tires wear. That's something that we weren't really able to do on the 13% races. You'll see it more on the 25% races, is stuff like tire wear and such. So we'll go back up on the wedge here as we have a caution here, and okay then. Apparently the computer doesn't know how to drive for us, doesn't know how to avoid a caution. once I get damage, we'll go ahead and fix that under the pits. I don't think that's from what that just was, but we are going to have a pit stop here in the last stage. So we're going to have 20 laps in stage 2. Oh my word. It DNF'd us from the wreck that caused while we couldn't control our car. The car was perfectly fine. Unless the engine blew. Okay, then I am in confusion. Well, that's really unfortunate. I think we're going to be competitive in that last stage. But we'll move on. Nothing else we can do here. Literally nothing we can do. I couldn't even restart the race if I really wanted to. So, still get the money from the incentive contract, and we had a terrible finish last race. We were not super clean. I don't know what it's doing. And now we have momentum. The game is broken. That's what I'm deciding, because we should not have momentum based on a 20th and a 32nd place finish. But I'm going to go ahead, go with the normal contract here for Texas, Richmond, Dover, Charlotte, Kansas. A lot of intermediate tracks with one short track mixed in there. But I think we should be able to get it done. Apparently we have a 10% speed boost now. Though I'm not sure what from. And yeah, I'm in complete confusion about that. But that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. And we plan on just doing 2 races with the 25%. If this ends up being shorter, the next time we'll try the 3 races at 25%. However, I think usually it's going to be somewhat longer as well, because we didn't get to race for 20 laps there at the end. So if you take the average lap time, you're adding about another 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes onto the episode by racing in that 3rd stage there. So yeah, we'll try 2 this episode. If it's still a little bit shorter than we want, then we'll move up onto 3 and try that. But that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Back to NASCAR in a couple days, F1 23 tomorrow, and yeah, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.